daytime. I'd like to welcome you here today at our meeting. Our meeting will be recorded and then published on all of our informational resources. Our meeting is being held in English and Hindi, Russian, and I would like to welcome all of the partners from those regions and countries that speak Russian, English, and Hindi. Could you please give me some feedback on how well you can see and hear me? Do we have any like hiccups or white noise? Okay, someone is saying that the image is clear and you boosted the volume to the maximum. Well, you're talking about your volume. Good. So let's be more active, dear colleagues. Someone saying everything is okay. Good. Well, we can start in this case. I'm very glad that today we were able to go on air, and thank you very much for being patient and wait out the meeting that we were supposed to have last Saturday. We had to cancel the meeting because I weren't able technically to host the meeting because I didn't have the internet. My internet provider was doing some maintenance work. Therefore, going on the air using my mobile internet connection wouldn't ensure good quality of the meeting. Also, I wanted to point your attention to the fact that probably at 7 p.m. local time, in 1 hour, the electricity might be turned off, but I have an alternative power source. I have a generator that will kick in. So if we have the power breakdown, please do not leave the meeting. Just wait for me to turn on my generator and to be back online. So there might be some very minor technical problem, and I would like to have your understanding. Well, I see that some of the first questions in the chat is saying, who is this person? So let me introduce myself, of course. Those of you who don't know me, I'm the head of the crowdfunding, online crowdfunding platform, RSW Systems. My name is Maxim Isyp. I've been in charge of the platform since March 2020. It's been 5 years almost already, and we've been actively working for 5 years in the crowdfunding area and the promotion of the string transportation technology and raising funds into this technology. I can see that someone cannot hear the English translator. So for that, you need at the bottom of the screen choose the language in which you would like to hear today's meeting. We have 3 options: Russian, Hindi, and English. So you have this function in Zoom. You can choose it and pick it. So we can start. Today, we are going to have an informational meeting that will be split into 2 topics. The first topic is about all the news related to the development of string technology, transportation technology over the recent time. And the second part will be about changes and updates on the RSW Systems platform related to the rebranding that we announced in 2023. And gradually we've been moving towards that. So everything happening right now is happening behind the scenes, and I will, let's say, lift the veil on what's happening right now, and I'm sure that the news and updates will be of your liking. So, dear friends, the first thing that I would like to start our meeting with is the frequently asked questions that are asked by our clients of our platform, the investors in the string transportation technology, our partners. And what do you think is the most frequently asked question that we receive in our support service that is sent to me directly sometimes? It's what this whole question is about. What do you think? Regarding the shares, well, we will cover that. Someone mentioned shares in the chat. We will cover that topic too. So, what do you think is the most frequent question? Well, Alexander in the chat is asking, where are you going to receive dividends? And smiley face. Well, basically, in view of the news that happened over the last 6-9 months, in view of that news, I wanted to share my personal opinion that will be based on facts and things happening in the development of string transportation technologies, not just my personal subjective opinion. Well, of course, every person's opinion is kind of subjective, but today we're going to assess objectively the facts, things actually happening. So, for you as clients and investors into string transportation technology, how did you like the recently published news? So what kind of news impressed you most in the development of this technology? Let's say in the development of both marketing and commercial sections of it. So what kind of impressed you or excited you most? What touched upon or pulled your personal strings? So because I wanted to make this meeting as interactive as possible, I would like to have back and forth with you. So what kind of news you liked most, recent news? And then we will move on to the topics that I wanted to discuss with you regarding the dividends, the prospects, and what is in line or in store for us for the next couple of years. Alexander is saying all news are good, is good. Well, someone else, please, too, because I would like to have as many participants involved in our today's interactive discussion. So what kind of other news impressed you or made you happy or gave you some kind of a hope, made you better understand that the technology is developing in the correct direction? So you have the chat at your disposal. You can write in the chat. Or someone also wrote, Unitsky is going to the United States. Well, we will dwell on it today. Well noted. Anyone else? Well, except Alexander, because he's the most active guest today. Someone mentioned Indonesia, that the company is opening a marketing representative office. Obvious increased demand for the technology. So let me have Edmund's message Google translated, and I will reply to it. And you, dear colleagues, keep on writing while I'll have this message translated for me, because I'm still learning the English language. He says, incredible news always, which makes me always optimistic. Well, yeah, me too. They are opening a Skyway representation office in the United States, in America. Well, yes. Dear colleagues, don't be shy. We would like to have this meeting as open as possible, as interactive as possible. Verica is asking how to have it in English. Well, could you please write to Verica and help her move to the English room? Or Ruslan, probably you could write her a message and choose English. for Verica to understand what I'm saying.
Есть такая возможность.
Can we do that?
Вижу, уже подсказывают. Найдите,
I see
зайдите в
Edmund
настройки
says go to settings and select the language. Well, yes,
Хорошо.
Exactly.
Друзья,
So, dear
давайте мы
friends,
сделаем
let's do
следующим
the
образом.
following.
Сейчас я
I'm
сделаю
gonna share my
демонстрацию экрана, и
screen
мы
right
вместе с
now,
вами
and together
посмотрим
we're going to
новости
take a look at the
последние,
recent
которые
news
связаны с развитием
related to the
технологий
development
струнного
of string
транспорта.
transportation technology.
И,
One second,
я
please.
сделаю демонстрацию экрана.
I will share my screen.
Так. Так, друзья,
So,
вам видно
can
мой
you
экран?
see my screen?
Экран видно?
Can you see my screen?
Да,
Yes.
отлично,
People are saying yes.
хорошо,
Good.
да, видно. И
And
вот давайте мы
let's
посмотрим на
take a
примере
at
сайта
the website,
основной
which is
инжиниринговой
the
компании
main
UST
website
Inc.,
of the engineering
которая
company
непосредственно
UST.Inc.,
занимается разработкой,
which is responsible for the
испытанием,
development,
тестированием,
testing,
внедрением
and
технологий
implementation
струнного
of the
транспорта.
string
И посмотрим,
transportation technology,
что у
and
нас есть
see
за
what we
последние
have over the
несколько
last couple of
месяцев.
months.
Мы все с
So we
вами
all
видели о том,
saw
что
that
был запущен
a new
новый подвижной состав,
rolling
который
stock,
называется Карат,
new
который, кстати,
car
установил
was
новый
launched
скоростной
called
режим,
Carrot,
да,
which
и
broke the new speed record.
это говорит о том, что
And
каждый
it means
новый
that
вид
every
подвижного
new
состава,
type of a
на
rolling
мой,
stock,
да,
of a,
на
let's
мою
call it
точку
train,
зрения,
in my opinion,
он
is
становится,
becoming
так скажем, все
better and
лучше,
better, more
усовершенствованней
improved,
и более,
and
так скажем,
better
соответствующим задумкам Анатолия
matching
Эдуардовича по
the
конкретно
original
городскому
idea
виду
of
транспорта. То есть,
Mr.
если
Unitsky,
говорить
Dr.
о
Unitsky, in
технологическом
terms of
развитии
urban
самой
transportation.
технологии
If we
струнного
talk
транспорта,
about the
об ее
development of string
инновационном
technology,
развитии,
its
вот как
innovative
раз именно
development,
то, во что мы с вами
what we are
инвестируем свои средства,
investing our money in,
явное
this is a
доказательство
clear
того,
indication
что
and proof
компания
that
активно
the
над этим
company is actively
работает.
working
Но
on it.
если говорить, вот сегодня
One
один из
of our
наших гостей,
guests
да,
today,
написал, из
one of
наших
our
партнеров,
partners today
написал,
wrote
что
in the chat
повышен
that there is
интерес
an
к
increased
технологии
attention
струнного
from mass
транспорта.
media
И
to
вот давайте
string transportation
пару
technology. So
новостей
let's
выделим.
highlight some of the
Комплекс
news.
Карат попал в
Complex
фокус
Carrot
внимания арабского СМИ.
caught
То есть
the
об
eye
этом
of the
пишут
Arab mass media, and
достаточно
quite
серьезных
serious
и
mass media is writing about
авторитетных
it.
источников
Reputable
средств
media
массовой
are writing
информации.
about it.
Далее.
Next,
Решение UST рассматривают для интеграции с
UST
морскими
solution
портами.
is
То
being
есть мы с
considered
вами
to be
знаем о том, что
integrated
у
with
компании есть
seaports.
сейчас
We know
два
that the company
готовых
has now
коммерческих
two
продукта.
ready
Это
commercial
городской транспорт
products,
и
which is
грузовой.
cargo
И
and
вот,
urban
допустим, если
passenger
говорить конкретно
transportation.
о
And if we talk about specifically
логистических решениях,
logistical
где
solutions,
применяется
which
грузовой
use
транспорт,
cargo transportation,
UST
UST,
вызывает
this is
большой интерес не только
of
к
interest,
перевозкам самого
and it
транспорта, а
causes
еще и
interest
целое
not only to
отдельное
cargo
транспортное
transportation
направление,
alone,
как
but to the entire
морские
branch
порты,
of
да,
sea
которые очень,
transportation and
так
seaports
скажем, имеют большую
that
потребность в
are in
правильной
high
логистике,
need
в
of
скорости
correct
этой
logistics,
логистики и
speedy
простоте.
logistics,
И
and
вот
simple logistics.
22 мая об этом
On
тоже была
the
новость. Со
22nd of
всеми этими
May, they
новостями вы
published
можете вот на
these news
сайте
as
UST
well. So you
ознакомиться. Все
can
эти
read
новости
all the news
дублируются на
on
нашей
their
платформе.
website.
И
It
как
is copied
первоисточник я вам
on
просто
our
показываю то, как
website, and this
развивается
is kind of
сейчас
the original
технология
source
струнного транспорта.
showing you how the
Что
string
еще я бы
technology,
хотел
string
отдельно
transportation
выделить?
technology is being developed. What
Это
else I wanted to
очень
point
важный
out,
момент,
which is
то,
quite
что
important as well,
научная
that the
составляющая
scientific aspect
технологии,
of the
она
technology,
тоже
the scientific
постоянно в
component
центре
is
внимания,
is
и,
also
скажем
in the
так,
center of
мы
attention,
получаем
and
все
we
больше и
get
больше
more and
сторонников
more
технологий
followers
струнного
of
транспорта
the
в
string
области науки.
transportation
Например,
technology in science. For
государственные
example, the state
университеты разных
universities of
городов
different
и
cities
стран
and countries more and more often become either partners in scientific area, or in this way or another start cooperating with the engineering company UST. And we all remember that the string transportation technology, or the engineering company and the design bureau that are in the Eastern Europe, the string technologies company, has become a research and development institute, which is kind of nonsensical, because such statuses are usually assigned to state-owned companies, whereas the closed joint stock company String Technologies is one of the very few companies that turned into R&D institute, which is quite a huge achievement. Also, we can point out that on a regular basis, especially over the last couple of months, the company has been represented on numerous conferences and forums and expos. And this is yet another proof that the interest to the string transportation technology on the global arena, in the global market, is growing. And the company every month is becoming more and more indisputable, becoming an indisputable leader in the area, and will become the technology that dozens of countries will soon implement in their own regions. Next, dear friends, you correctly noted that there was news that the string transportation technology can be represented in the United States, which was published on the Anatoly Yunitsky's personal website, which is called Yunitsky Engineer. And I personally was pleasantly surprised that Anatoly Yunitsky was given the opportunity and was given the honor of receiving a US visa, which is not just your standard visa, but a visa that classified as O1 visa. So O1 visa is given to talented people, to people who achieved huge heights in science, technology, culture, art, and other areas. So it is given to people with unique, outstanding skills and achievements. And as a And to prove that, let's see what kind of awards Anatoly Yunitsky received over the last couple of years. And I will cover that topic a little bit later. So the main factors that led to Anatoly Yunitsky being invited to the United States, and you know that US is one of the strongest economies in the world. We know that many innovations were first launched and implemented in that region. So crowdfunding itself has the United States as birthplace. So they are the pioneers in crowdfunding of innovations and startups with lots of people. And I would like also to point out that we, as a community of people who supported the idea and the technology of Anatoly Yunitsky in 2014 using crowdfunding, we are the only ones in the world who achieved such result that we have today. And I wanted to point it out that Anatoly Yunitsky has dozens, hundreds of different merits that were recognized by such a important state as the United States. And I would like to highlight it for you. Among the facts and merits that were taken into consideration when issuing Visa 01, we can point out the projects implemented by Anatoly Yunitsky using UN grants, membership in the Federation of Cosmonautics of the USSR. So the engineer and inventor has two fundamental programs: Eco World and U Space, has more than 300 scientific works, 20 monographs, more than 200 patents and invention certificates, and has industrial prototypes in the area of construction, transportation, machine building, electronics, chemical industry, and more than 50 inventions have been implemented or launched into production in many countries. This is what Anatoly Yunitsky also mentioned during one of his recent speeches during his very productive years, that he has never been an engineer who wasn't in demand or whose inventions were never put into production, or a person who was focused and had a tunnel vision on just one invention. Anatoly Yunitsky is a multifaceted man, and we are very honored to be partners with him, or investors or co-owners in the company that had been founded by this genius. And he also was internationally recognized, and I will read it out for you, because not everyone goes to Anatoly's website and not everyone reads the news. In 2023, the general designer USG became the member of the biggest engineer organization of the US, which is the American Society of Civil Engineers. Early 2024, the author of the String Transportation became affiliate with the ASCE through the Institute of Transportation and Development, Institute of Engineering Mechanics, Architectural Engineering Institute, Institute of Seashores, Oceans, Ports and Rivers, and the Institute of Environment and Water Resources. Did you know about such achievements by Anatoly? Could you please share it in the chat? So this is Anatoly being internationally recognized. And I'm reading the chat right now. Did you know this information? Sergey from Yekaterinburg says he didn't know. Anyone else? So please tell us if this is news for you. This is something you didn't know. As I can see, judging by your answers, many of you didn't know such nuances. And this, well, someone says, yes, we read about it, we are constantly reading the news, regularly need the news. Yes, for us, it's very good news, very pleasant news, and for some of us, it's surprising news. It means that the person that we all followed, that we all believed in, we made the right choice. Because I'm talking about myself. In 2014, when I learned first about this technology and about the opportunity of becoming a co-owner, back then in 2014, I realized that future lies in this technology and the genius is behind this technology. And this person just needs a helping hand in the form of crowdfunding and active participation in the process. And the fact that the company right now has the achievements that it has right now is yet another proof that I personally, and I'm sure all of you too, now realize that we made the right choice in supporting the technology, not only by word, but also by deed, by becoming co-owners and by investing in this particular technology. And as a result, what do we have now? At the end of the article, it says, right now in the United States, an active work is being conducted on opening marketing representative office to promote UST technology in Northern American continent. So what does it tell us, dear friends? Let me recap the international development of the company and the group of companies of Anatoly Unitsky and UST group of companies on the international market. So what kind of emotions does it excite in you? What kind of predictions it allows you to have for the next couple of years, knowing that the company has marketing representative, engineering representative office, and 2 R&D centers on different continents? We know that recently a marketing representative company was opened in Indonesia. We know that in Eastern Europe was opened one. The R&D center has been working in Belarus, in Marina Gorka, in Sharjah, in United Arab Emirates. And now Anatoly Unitsky is interested in having his technology, our technology, because we are all co-owners, on a new continent, in the territory of the United States. So what kind of emotions it produces in you? What kind of analytical probably conclusions you can make based on it? Let me read it out. Someone says it's a wonderful opportunity to attract American investors and launch the IPO soon. Then in the future, this technology will be needed by the entire world. Correct? We're going to be the first in this area. We can be proud of it. When will Americans be able to participate? A very good question. We're working on it. The company is working on it, and I will go back to that question a little bit later. Powerful development in the next 5 years and the IPO. Well, thank you very much for your message. Anyone else, dear friends? A penny for your thought? Well, while you're writing your messages, I would like to share my opinion about what's happening. So what, in my opinion, makes the approach and Unitsky's work unique? If you remember his biography, if you remember his quite laborious and hard path in implementing, in becoming an engineer, a scientist that for dozens of years people didn't believe in, that you must remember that Anatoly's reputation was always under the threat of being destroyed. People didn't allow him to develop, which was very well shown in the film that was recently released and that I recommended you watch. And if you didn't watch it, go to Unitsky's channel and you will see how well the film demonstrates the hardships that Unitsky went through. So for me, it tells that the string transportation technology is already protected as much as possible. So the diversification of innovations demonstrated by being present in different continents, being certified in certain R&D centers in the Eastern Europe and Asia and the Arabian Peninsula. And right now, the goal is to show and to start implementing the technology on a new continent in the territory of the United States, in North America. And it is a proof to me that Anatoly Unitsky is following a very reasonable approach to protecting his intellectual property, which is protection of our investments, because we are co-owners of this intellectual property. And for me, dear friends, it means that our investments are being protected. And of course, it's a very good prospect, of going into new promising markets.
Сейчас
And if we would like to recap how all that news relate to the prospects of the capitalization of the technology, of the monetization of the technology, the prospects of dividends. And I'm asking this question to you as well. How all that news affect the prospects of capitalization, monetization, and being able to receive dividends? This is also my question to you. Please share your thoughts. And I will say one more thing. Late 2023, I recommended to many people, well, let me rephrase it. Late 2023, a series of videos were made by the team that is actively working on the implementation of the technology in terms of the realization of commercial projects in a dozen of countries. We know it from the broadcasts that were organized by Evgeny Petrov, Deputy General Director for Marketing. Probably many of you watched those broadcasts, those videos, and they clearly stated that currently the company has a dozen commercial projects it's working on. This is A. B. The first half of 2024 has passed, so we are at the 20th of June, and in the first half of this year, the company has started quite actively opening its marketing representative offices across the world. So this is yet another bullet point for you. From the video address made by Anatoly Yunitsky in 2023, where he announced that the company is planning, or was planning, to complete the preparation for the creation of financial legal scheme for paying out dividends, or the system for paying out dividends. So everything that I've been covering so far, everything that I've said so far, how all of this improves your understanding of when we will reach the point of capitalization, monetization, and dividends in the future. I hope I conveyed my thoughts clearly, and I would like you to share your opinions and have your feedback. And you can share your messages in the chats, and I will be translating messages in foreign languages. And someone says 5 years. I do not quite understand what you mean by 5 years. Could you please clarify? So 5 years, that's the period when we will start receiving dividends. So this is your prediction, that we will start receiving dividends in 5 years. And Verika is asking when we will have dividends. Well, basically, this is the key question, is when. And let's now try and assess the current situation from the rational, reasonable point of view. We could take a positive approach, we could take a negative approach or attitude, or we can take an objective, reasonable attitude. And I'm an advocate of the reasonable, objective approach. So those who became co-owners of the string transportation technology in 2014, 15, and 16 had to wait for quite some time, right? It's almost 10, 7, 5 years for some. For some people, this is quite a long period. However,
Я бы хотел сделать
I
акцент
wanted
на
to
том,
focus
что
on the
в те
fact
годы, когда мы
that when
становились
we
совладельцами
started becoming
интеллектуальной
the co-owners
собственности
on
в
the intellectual
14,
property in
15, 17
2014,
годах,
15, 16, and
очень
17,
часто многие
many
из вас
of you heard
слышали от тех или
from
иных
different
частных лиц
private individuals
личные
their own
прогнозы,
personal
которые, вот,
predictions.
знаете,
That,
часто бывает так, что люди
sometimes people
выдают
use
желаемое за
so-called
действительное.
wishful thinking.
И очень часто в
And very
эфирах,
often
в интернете,
on the
в
internet, during
оффлайн-мероприятиях от
offline
некоторых
events,
людей
some people
звучали какие-то
expressed their
конкретные
own
даты,
personal
звучали
opinions about
конкретные
certain dates or
годы,
years,
звучали конкретные
or
цифры по
gave specific
капитализации,
numbers
звучали
regarding the
конкретные сроки
capitalization
по выходу
or the
компании на
IPO
IPO.
dates.
Но все это
But all of
было
it was
озвучено людьми, да, которые имеют свое
said by
личное,
people
частное
who were
мнение.
just expressing their
Но
own personal
параллельно с
opinion.
этим
However,
никогда об конкретных датах, годах,
never
цифрах, никогда об
specific
этом не
dates,
говорил ни
numbers had been
владелец и
mentioned
собственник
by
технологии
the
стримового
owner
транспорта Анатолий
of
Эдуардович
the
Юницкий, и
technology,
ни
string
один
transportation technology,
сотрудник
Dr.
группы
Unitsky.
компаний
Neither had
Юницкого
it
и
been
группы
mentioned
компаний
by any
Юицкий. Об
employees
этом
by the
никогда
company.
не было такой
There
точной
had never been
информации. И
any
я объясню
concrete
почему.
information. And
Потому
I'll
что
explain you
есть,
why.
друзья, так
Because,
скажем, у
dear friends,
каждого
every business
бизнес-процесса,
process has
так скажем, три
three
сценария развития событий. Есть
scenarios:
оптимистичный,
the
есть
optimistic scenario,
пессимистичный и есть
pessimistic, and
реалистичный.
realistic
И
scenarios.
мы с вами
And
живем
we
в
are
таком
living in a
мире,
world
который
which is
быстро, динамично
dynamically changing,
меняется,
rapidly
который
changing,
часто подкидывает
which very
определенные
often
сюрпризы. И
throws
вообще путь
surprises at us.
выхода на рынок
And
любой инновационной
the
технологии,
path
он
of
всегда
any
связан с
innovative technology
определенными
going into the
трудностями,
market is
сложностями,
always associated
так
with
назовем их,
hardships,
сюрпризами, и это вполне
difficulties,
нормально.
surprises, let's
Так
call
вот,
it
друзья,
like that.
если
And it's
говорить о
okay.
нашем с
And
вами пути, в
talking
котором
about
мы
our
все
path,
являемся участниками, наш
our
путь,
path
он максимально приближен
is as close to the
к
realistic
реальности,
scenario
не
as
каким-то
possible,
иллюзиям
not some kind
и
of
не
wishful
каким-то,
thinking
скажем так,
or illusions
событиям,
or
где можно одеть
events
розовые очки
where
и
we should
представлять
all
розовое будущее.
put on
Что я
pink
имею в виду?
glasses and see the
На
world in
протяжении
pink.
крайних 10
What I mean
лет,
is
когда
that
запущен процесс
when the crowdfunding
краудфандинга,
process
если мы
was
возьмем с вами
launched in
2014 год,
2014,
технология
the
струнного
string
транспорта
transportation
выглядела
technology
на
was
листе
just,
бумаги, я
I'm
условно сейчас
talking
говорю, это
metaphorically,
были
it was just
чертежи, это были
blueprints.
многолетние
It
наработки
was
Анатолия
the
Эдуардовича, как автора
developments or
и создателя
designs made
технологии
by
струнного
Anatoly
транспорта. Но
Unitsky,
физически
but
ничего не
there
было.
had been
Была
nothing
только его
physical
большая
behind it.
идея,
It was
вера
just
в
a
то, что
big
он
idea,
это
his
сделает и
belief
реализует,
that he
и
was going
наша
to
с вами
implement it,
вера в
and
этого
our
человека.
belief in
В
that person. In
2014-2015 году
2014-2015,
Анатолий Эдуардович
Anatoly
как
Unitsky,
инноватор
as an
столкнулся с
innovator,
многим
faced a lot of
непониманием в той стране, где
misunderstanding
изначально это
or
все
lack
должно
of
было
understanding
происходить. Мы с
in
вами
the
помним, что
country
это
where
был
it
регион
was
Прибалтики.
supposed to be
И
first
там не
launched, which is the
сложилось
Baltic
то, что
region.
должно было
And
реализоваться.
what was
И то,
supposed to
что
happen
должно было
didn't happen.
реализоваться в Прибалтике,
And what was
реализовалось на
supposed to
территории
happen
Республики
in the Baltic
Беларусь
states
спустя
happened
несколько
in
лет.
Belarus
И вот
several
если
years
брать
later.
точку отсчета,
So
когда
if we
началось
take the starting
материальное,
point,
реальное внедрение
is the
первых
first
опор,
construction of
подготовительных
supports,
работ,
the
инженерных
engineering
работ,
works, the
научно-исследовательских и все, что с этим
land
связано,
service,
это был
etc.,
уже где-то
etc., it
16
happened
год.
in
За
2016.
тот период
So
времени
over that period of
Анатолий
time,
Эдуардович
Anatoly Unitsky
умудрился, я так,
managed,
так скажем, использую это слово, умудрился. Почему?
and I will use
Потому
that
что на
word,
протяжении всех
and I'm
тех
using
лет
this word,
по
managed,
настоящее время
because
технология
the
испытывала
technology actually
недофинансирование согласно
experienced
этапам
lack of
развития, которые
funding
были озвучены
according
еще
to the
в самом
stages of
начале, в
development that were
2014 году.
first
Но он
announced in
действительно
2014.
умудрился,
And
он
yet,
оптимизировал,
Anatoly
он
was able to
максимально
optimize
оптимизировал
the
расходную часть
costs,
и, согласно
and
полученным инвестициям, сделал
using the
больше, чем мы с
investments
вами
received,
рассчитывали.
he
Лично
delivered
я
more
четко
than
помню,
we all
что
expected.
мы все
I
рассчитывали
remember
всего лишь на
that
три,
we were expecting,
так
I
скажем,
personally expected,
не
not
вида
just
транспорта, а по
three
сути
types of
разных, там
transportation.
три вида
We
подвижных
expected
составов.
three different
Это
rolling
там
stocks,
городской
trains,
в одном
the
виде,
urban
да, там
type, the
грузовой
cargo
и
type, and the high speed. rolling stock.
Говорить о том, что есть у нас
And
сейчас за этот
considering
промежуток
what we
времени,
have right
мы
now,
имеем более 10
we have
видов
more than
городского
10 types of
транспорта и
urban
несколько видов
transportation and
грузового.
several types
Это
of
гораздо
cargo
больше, чем мы с вами
transportation, which is
рассчитывали
way more
увидеть
what we
в
expected to
реальности,
have
и
in reality,
это гораздо
which is
больше
way
то,
more
чего мы
than we
ожидали.
expected.
Так вот, далее, друзья. После
Next, friends,
17, 18, 19
in the
годов
after 2017,
технология прошла
18 and
определенный
19, the
этап,
technology
когда
went
были
through
первые
the stage
испытания,
of
были
first
первые
tests, first
сертификации, и
certifications,
в тот
and
период
at that
времени
period of time,
компания
the company
уже дошла до
already
того
reached a
пункта,
point
когда
where
всем стало
to
понятно, что
everybody it
технология
became clear
действительно
that the
есть, и
technology
нужно время на
was
ее
there and it just
сертификацию
needed
и,
time for
скажем так,
certification and
ее
it
испытания,
just needed tests,
сертификацию и потом
certification,
последующее
and then
коммерческое
commercial
воплощение. Это вот был
implementation.
период
It was the period of
19-21 годов. С
2019-2021.
21 по
Starting from the
настоящее время
2021
компания
until
уже
the current
реализовала
period,
и
the company
грузовой транспорт,
already
и за
implemented
этот
the
промежуток
cargo
времени
transportation
были
type.
сертифицированы
And over that
практически
time,
все виды
practically
подвижных
all
составов,
types
которые
of the
мы с
rolling
вами
stock
знаем.
were certified
Сейчас
that we are
осталось
aware
там
of.
несколько видов,
Just a handful
единицы, да,
of
которые проходят
types are still
тесты,
being
проходят
tested,
испытания, и
and
дальше
then
следующий этап сертификации.
certification will follow.
На данном этапе я могу с
Well,
полной
at this
уверенностью
current
сказать,
stage, I
что
can
это мое
fully
личное
and
мнение, но я думаю, вы
confidently
его тоже
state, it is my personal
придерживаетесь,
opinion, I
что
hope you
сама
will share
технология,
it,
она
that the
прошла эту
technology
точку
went
невозврата,
already through the point of no
когда
return,
уже не только
where
назад
there is
пути
not
нет,
only no
уже
way
нет
back, but there is no
повода
reason for
сомневаться в том,
doubt
что
anymore
технология
that the
состоялась.
technology is
На
viable.
самом деле технология
The
струнного
string
транспорта
transportation
уже
technology
имеет два готовых
already has
коммерческих
two
продукта. Это
ready-to-use commercial
городской и
products, which
грузовой
is urban
транспорт.
transportation
И
and
вот опять
cargo
же, возвращаясь к
transportation.
тому, что
And
к последним
going back to
новостям
the
за
recent
последние
news
9
over the
месяцев,
recent weeks
мы с
and
вами
months, we can
видим,
see
что
that
технология
the
струнного
string
транспорта
technology transportation
состоялась, и
is viable,
этому
is
есть
implemented,
подтверждение
and there are
десятки заказов
dozens of
на
orders
ее
already placed
внедрение
for
и
its
реализацию.
implementation, physical
И теперь,
implementation.
друзья,
And
очень
now, dear
важный
friends,
момент,
a
который
very important
касается
piece of
дивидендной
information regarding the
составляющей,
dividends
получения
and
прибыли компании, которая
receipt
компания в
by the
перспективе
company of
должна делиться
profits
с нами
that
как с
will be
инвесторами
shared with
в
us
технологию
as
струнного
investors into
транспорта.
the
И вот
string
здесь, друзья,
transportation
давайте
technology. And here,
постараемся сейчас
friends, let's
включить
try and be
рациональный
reasonable
подход.
about it. Let's
Если мы
take
с вами
on
берем
the
точку
reasonable
отсчета последние
attitude.
несколько лет,
If we take
то
the
вот давайте так, давайте
last couple
разделим
of
на
years
несколько
as our
этапов
starting
внедрения
point, so let's
технологий,
split
да,
it into different
где-то до
stages.
2022
Before
года
2022, the
технология
string
струнного
transportation
транспорта была
technology was
на
at the
этапе
stage of a
венчурного
venture
проекта,
project,
высокорискового,
high-risk
и
venture
еще
project.
многие
And many people
сомневались,
still had
будет
doubts whether
технология
the
работать или
technology
нет.
was
Но
viable
вот
or
уже
not.
21-22
In
год, когда
2021,
большая часть
2022,
подвижных
when
составов была
most of the rolling
сертифицирована,
stocks
испытана
were
и так далее,
certified,
все,
tested and
тут уже мы ставим
certified,
жирную
here
точку, мы
we
точно
can
знаем, что
finally
технология
cross the T
состоялась.
and say the technology
Компания
is
имеет в
viable.
своем
The company
арсенале два
has
готовых
two
коммерческих
ready-to-use
продукта.
commercial
Да, я
products
повторяюсь, но
already.
это
Yes,
важные
I'm
вещи.
repeating myself, but it's very important.
Городской и
The
грузовой
urban and
транспорт.
cargo transportation.
Сейчас мы
Now
находимся
we
на
are at a
этапе,
stage,
когда мы вот с вами посмотрели сейчас последние
looking
новости,
back
да,
at the
которые не
news that
придуманы.
we
Эти
read
новости
right now, not fake
подтверждены
news,
участием
actual news
компании в
confirmed by the
конференциях,
company's
в
participation in different
больших интервью для больших
conferences, in big
СМИ,
interviews for
в
big
том числе и
media,
Forbes,
including
да, где
Forbes.
мы с вами
And
знаем,
we
что
know that
генеральный
the
директор ЗАО «Струнные
general
технологии»
director,
Надежда Геннадьевна
Ms.
Косарева
Kosareva,
писала целую статью
wrote
для
an entire
международного
article
Forbes
for
о
Forbes
нашей
about our
технологии и ее
technology and
применении
its
в современном
application
мире.
in the modern
Так вот, я
world.
просто к
So
чему
what I'm
говорю,
driving at
что
here
вот с
is
этого
that starting
периода
from this
времени
period of
уже
time,
где-то с
from 2022-2023,
2022-2023 начинается
the
коммерческое
commercial
воплощение
implementation of
технологии
the string
струнного
transportation
транспорта. И
technology
сама
started.
технология
And the
переходит
technology
из
itself
разряда
is moving from the
инновационного, из
innovative,
разряда
high-risk
высокорискового
venture
венчурного
project
проекта в
category
разряд
to a
полноценного
full-fledged
инвестиционного
investment
инфраструктурного
infrastructural
направления.
project.
И вот здесь, друзья, сейчас очень
And it is
важный
very
момент.
important for us to understand
Многие
that
из нас не
many
до
of
конца
us
понимают,
do not fully
каким образом
understand
может
how
формироваться
profits can be generated by a company, how the company makes its earnings and how it can capitalize itself. Talking about the recent news that right now there are dozens of commercial projects in the workings. So where does any project start? Like construction of a house or, I don't know, construction of any building, a trading center, a mall. So what any construction project starts with? So we as laymen, we are not professionals, right? So not all of us are construction professionals or engineers, but I guess all of us has an idea that any project starts with an engineering design. Alexander voted in the chat. Yes, everything starts with a design. So let's analyze the current situation. So the technology in 2022, 2023 became a full-fledged commercial project. We have two products, commercial products, urban and cargo transportation. And now different countries started showing interest to the implementation of this transportation, cities and countries. And that's when the most interesting things start to happen. The first thing that a commercial project starts with is a commercial offer to a specific order. Then the pre-design works, design works start, the feasibility study, and only after that more large-scale works start, like land allocation, some red tape that are very different in different countries, bureaucracy, and every project can take different times to be implemented in different countries. In one country, it can theoretically take 1-2 years. In another country, it can take 5 years. From A to Z, which is very closely related to the political and economical processes in the country or on the side of the client. Well, we agreed to take the reasonable attitude and use the objective reasoning. So let's imagine that one country would like to implement in their region the string transportation technology. So currently in that particular country, in that region, a certain political party or structure is in place. And when there are changes in power or different lobbies kick in, for example, if those people who lobbied the transportation, for example, leave office, so the entire work that have been done over the last 2 years can simply be put on a shelved, you know, or frozen. That's what might happen. Or another scenario. For example, in this particular city, country, or region, a client appears who, for example, has no political affiliation. He's just a representative of the business, and they would like to make an order for their own seaport. Such projects, of course, will be implemented faster, but still, you cannot implement a project faster than the realities allow you to do that. For example, if the pre-design, design works, and feasibility study take certain time to perform, there are certain regulations that dictate how long it should take, we cannot make it faster. If something takes half a year to implement, you cannot, no matter what you do, implement it in 3 months. There are works that takes 6 months to do, and you will have to wait for 6 months. There are some works that can take 12 or 18 months to do, and you'll have to wait for 12 or 18 months for that work to be finished. So what I'm driving here at is that at this current stage, the string transportation technology, after passing the point of no return, where it became viable and it is now obvious to everyone, we are now at a stage when the company is ready to implement its products, urban and cargo transportation, but at the same time, in every specific case, the implementation periods can differ. And not all of us, unfortunately, understand that. For example, there is a client who is ready to place an order for the technology, and some of us might think that if there is a client who already placed an order, then 3 months later, construction works should start, or the pits should be dug, or supports should be put up. Well, I'm simplifying it, but some people might think that if there is a client, the construction works should start next day. No, usually it happens like half a year later, depending on the preparation works. And I have a very good example that I very often give, that any new construction project, be it a residential house, a mall, we can see that construction being started after a long preparation period. Before any construction of a residential house or a mall is being started, the preparation period might have taken 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, because you have to first have the land allocated, engineering systems, different land surveys, and many other nuances and aspects. And those aspects can take years. And this is something we should also take into consideration and remember of. But the string transportation technology has a very huge advantage. This company uses its received its main funds at the beginning. And now let's go back to the words of Unitsky in 2023, that the company first achieved its self-sufficiency stage. And how the company achieved that financial self-sufficiency? Because it started receiving orders for pre-design works, design works, in some cases even for feasibility studies. And all of that work is done by the engineering company. It's performed by the company that is implementing the technology of string transportation, and we are co-owners of the string transportation technology, so the co-owners of the intellectual property. So when Anatoly Unitsky said that in 2020, by 2025, they plan to complete, or better, to create the financial legal system for paying out dividends, it means that over that period of time, the company probably will increase the incoming orders, potential orders, and it already started receiving certain payments for its works, and which allowed the company to achieve its financial self-sufficiency. And God willing, they will start the implementation of individual projects. And at that stage, the financial component will play a major role, because the financial income of the company can take different forms. It can be, for example, payments for design works and everything related to the design, all the way to the company receiving royalties for their technologies being used by third parties. It can receive payments for within the license agreements for the use of their technologies. And this is a completely different kind of money when any commercial project is launched. And if we take it all together and everything that I've said already. If we recap it all, we are way closer, dear friends, to the point when dividends will start being paid out and directly to us. So answering the question that everyone is interested in, me including, because, dear colleagues, partners, and friends, I am just an investor like you. I am also a follower, a supporter of the string transportation technology, as are hundreds of thousands of people who supported this technology. Like any of you, I'm also waiting for the technology to be capitalized and to become, let's say, at the spearhead of innovations in the transportation sector in the near future, and will be the cutting-edge transportation in urban cargo and high-speed transportation sector. So talking about the investors that are coming right now, they are way closer to the point when dividends will be practically paid out. We are, as old investors or old-time investors, old-timers, veterans of this technology supporters, had been waiting long. However, new investors, they will have to wait way less than we did. And they are even kind of at a better position because we went through a more difficult and arduous and laborious path. Sergey says, I've been an investor since 2017. Well, in 2017, Sergey, the first supports had already been erected, and the first trains, the first rolling stocks were ready. And still people were in doubt whether it will go or not. So, dear friends, the thing that I warned us about happened on the time. At 7 p.m., the electricity went out. Thankfully, I have an alternative source of power, so I'm back with you. Can you see me? Can you hear me? I can see pluses in the chat and yeses. Good, good. Someone said they would go and make some tea. Alexander, it was you. I hope you had time to do that. If not, then wait for your tea to get infused and then we continue. So where was I? I was giving you an example of us old-timers who first joined the project in 2014, 15, 16, and 17, and we followed the idea, we followed our belief, our trust. And now this belief, this trust was not only proven by the time, but facts as well. So what do we have right now as investors in the string transportation technology? So we have in our assets a company that right now owns dozens of thousands of square meters of production area, offices, design bureau with more than 1,000 engineers and designers, dozens of different design bureaus that have been that put together the entire engineering team of Unitsky. We have 2 R&D institutes that proved the viability of the technology, that tested and certified the technology. So what I'm driving here at is that we, as old-time investors, had it more difficult to make our decision because we had to go by our intuition, our belief, in our trust that Unitsky was a genius inventor. But the current new investors should have no doubts whatsoever that the string transportation technology will be capitalized, monetized, and implemented in numerous cities and countries across the world. And the fact that the company is getting ready for some serious expansion on the international market, that they have an office in Indonesia, in Eastern Europe, that right now work is being conducted. And I will tell you a few words about the United States as well. Believe you me, dear friends, that Dr. Yunitsky never says anything or does anything without a reason behind it. If he decided to visit a country, he knows exactly what he's going to do there, what he's going to implement there. And our task right now is to focus on the most active participation and help at the final stage of implementation of the string transportation technology, which means a lot of responsible work awaits us, because this is the most costly, but at the same time, the most capitalized asset in the string transportation technology, which is high-speed transportation. So, the bottom line is that our activities, our work, our observations, and everything related to our active participation can be split into two stages. The first stage, which we already implemented, we helped the company create 2 commercial projects, and this is it. Well, basically, it can go its own way. It's not like a separate journey. No. It's something that cannot be stopped anymore. The implementation of urban and cargo transportation cannot be stopped. It's just a matter of time. This is A. And B, we're talking about the city and country that is going to be the first. And we have to wait just a little bit. It might happen overnight. So the company has now 2 commercially viable products, and a huge individual separate team, international team, is working on that, working on the implementation of the commercial product. And all of the people who participated in it as investors can be split into 2 categories. The first category that took part in the process and now are just passive investors who are just waiting, and it's normal. It's absolutely normal, because you invested your funds and now you're waiting for your payday, for the capitalization and monetization. And we already discussed how we arrived at that point, what kind of processes already took place, and what processes are still ongoing, and how much time it can take. And next, we are now on the verge of the most important or responsible stage, which is the funding of the high-speed transportation. I'm not talking about even the development of it, because Dr. Yunitsky already developed the technology and already presented it at the international conference in Berlin. We all saw the high-speed Uniflash that was presented there. Quite some time already passed. We already could see it in the Eco Techno Park, and some of you saw it with your own eyes, how it goes, how beautiful and unique its design in, its futuristic appearance, outlook, despite the fact that in reality it seems like a technology from the future, but that's technology of today. So let's summarize. Right now, we are, no matter how straightforward it might sound, currently we are now can be divided into 2 categories. The passive waiters, investors who will be waiting for the payday, for the capitalization point of those 2 commercial projects, urban transportation and cargo transportation. And the second category of people, and I think I belong to the second category, and I hope many of you too, is a category of active investors and active supporters and followers of the string transportation technology that will continue actively participating in the crowdfunding aspect of it and attracting more followers and more investments using the crowdfunding model that we are deploying. And this is how we gradually moved to our platform, our work that the crowdfunding platform is doing. So we discussed all the news related to the development of the string transportation technology. We made a quite objective assessment of what's in store for us. We summarized the high achievements of Dr. Yunitsky himself and his entire engineering team led by him. And now the next stage, or better, the next half of our meeting will be dedicated to the active crowdfunding activities. So why, dear friends, I think that crowdfunding is the business model that will be viable for several dozens of years. So let's analyze the last 10 years where crowdfunding was used. Many companies appeared in the market thanks to that model, like Oculus Rift, for example, that was purchased by Facebook. This is the company that developed the augmented reality glasses, and people who helped this technology to be implemented through crowdfunding, they received those glasses at a very good discount, but unfortunately they didn't become co-owners. And this model of crowdfunding is not interesting in terms of investing. We're using the investment crowdfunding because the projects that we are investing in, donating in, give us a share in that technology. And most interestingly, this model uses a logical, simple, time-proven model as affiliate program, partnership program, thanks to which many of us were able to earn our commission for the time we spent on the promotion, on presenting the technology, on spreading the word about this technology. And this particular model showed its utmost efficiency. So without any exaggeration, without hyperbolistic thoughts, I can give you the straight fact that we are the only crowdfunding community in the world that helped implement not just an innovation, not just a technology, but an entire sector. And this is a fact. We are the only one who did it. So in the near future, in the next 3, 5, 10 years, the crowdfunding model, the investment crowdfunding model, will be in demand even more. And taking into consideration that what we showed to the entire world, that crowdfunding is viable. So I think that the crowdfunding model, investment model, will be used not only for the implementation of the development, certification, and implementation of the string transportation technology, high-speed transportation, but I think that a time will come when crowdfunding model will be used in funding specific targeted commercial projects. And here's an entire window of opportunity opening for us when we can build our careers around this area. And the rebranding that I mentioned in 2023, when I gave an interview as the head of the RSW systems, I mentioned our plans that we're going to work within a new format. The reasons for rebranding the necessity for the rebranding, are given during the interview, so I'm not going to mention it right now. I gave quite specific details about it. But what is in store for us with this rebranding and moving to the new model, I will lift the veil here a little bit. First, dear friends, the crowdfunding, investment crowdfunding model will be effective only if the active affiliate program is used, which will be present, which will give the opportunity to earn good commission from your entire depth of your structure, from all the levels of your structure, of your team. And it will be possible if we change the marketing plan that we used over the last years in RSW systems. Right now, we have just 5 levels in our partnership program that allows you to earn commissions from and allows you to have extra income. Iconum says, yeah, let's start earning. Correct. So talking about our work in the crowdfunding platform, that's what I'm driving at. Right now, we've developed the new marketing plan that will affect the entire depth of your structure. It will offer a higher percentage than before, and all of it will be implemented, deployed on a new website, in the new back office. And let me lift the veil here. In the last months and a half, we've been actively working on developing the new back office, the new personal account, which will have a modern, up-to-date back office that will use quite a lot of up-to-date, innovative features, approaches, especially in terms of learning. We're going to use the AI in learning. And this work has been performed over the last 1 month and a half. We've developed the terms of reference for the website, and a team of more than 20 people have been working on the development of the website. It's a huge IT company with a lot of experience, expertise in developing products for companies that use affiliate marketing, multi-level marketing in their operations. Well, let's say companies that are in the same market as we are. Let's call it that. So currently, we've already developed the new marketing plan. We've tested it. We've tested its efficiency. We've developed a very good career ladder for every single partner, where everyone will be able to earn good commissions, build their career, and lay the foundation for the next 5, 10, 15 years working in that area and to become a professional in the area. And I strongly recommend you to dedicate to this particular business the main part of your time. Think about going professional in that area. Why I'm saying it? Because without a shadow of a doubt, I'm sure that many of you over the last 10 years had experience in working in different companies with the investment component to it. Correct? Let's see. Let's not lie to ourselves. Many of you guys had experience of working with investment network companies, companies that use the partnership program, affiliate program, so on and so forth. I see pluses. Well, of course, I know what I'm saying. There is a reason why I'm saying that. And now give me an example, please, of just one investment company which used the crowdfunding model for the implementation that is still in the market, that is still active. I personally, and I have quite extensive experience in the area, as do you, I don't know a single company like that. All of those companies turned into scam, fraud, or those companies turned out to be Ponzi schemes, financial pyramids, or they cheated their partners, their people, and never brought the plans to its finish. So talking specifically about our activities, we've been successfully operating over the last 11 years. The crowdfunding model, investment crowdfunding model, proved its viability. And thanks to the fact that we have the opportunity to allow you to build your career, to reallocate the percentages for the marketing and allow you to build your careers, it will allow you to lay the foundations for many years ahead, for you to develop and grow, go up the career ladder and make decent, or I'd say indecent money, because the volume of the market that we're working in right now is huge, and that volume numbers billions of dollars. And just imagine that in this niche we will take our decent spot, and I'm sure that the team we are building right now will not just be noticeable, but will become leaders in the area. And as soon as the new back office is launched, the updated website Micron Global is launched, our goal is to expand to new markets, new countries, and new regions, dear friends. So right now you have the opportunity to get ready for it, and you have the opportunity to prepare your teams that you already formed, built. We are giving the opportunity of very correct, loyal transition to the new platform. Our partners from Kazakhstan are getting ready to this moment, for this moment, and I can tell you preliminarily that in that region we have our own official representative, Jamila Jasimbekova, who will be representing our platform in the Asian market, and we already started that particular work together. Thank you. Aikunum said that Kazakhstan is ready. I know, guys, you're ready. We had several meetings with hundreds of people attending. But in Kazakhstan and in other countries, there will be people too who will belong to the first category, some will be in the second category, passive and active investors. But for our joint work, of course, we need active people who would like to build their careers in this particular area and lay the foundations for many dozens of years ahead. And I've been saying this for quite some time, that the crowdfunding model around this train transportation requires years and years of work. If you remember my speeches from 5, 10, 7 years ago, when I was part of a different fund, we always focused on train transportation technologies. I've been always saying that this work for me personally and for my children, who will pick up where I leave it. And I'm very confident that that's how it's going to be. And right now, I would like to announce that we, in the near future, are going to make a presentation for you of the new marketing plan, bonus plan. From the IT team, I will know the preliminary date of the new back office launch. During our future meetings, I will tell you how the transition will happen. And let me tell you right away that in no way you, as investors in train transportation, will lose anything. You won't have to do any kind of reinvestments or anything else. Let me tell you that those people who are old-time investors in these train transportation technologies, people who already have their big teams, you will have privileges. You will have better, higher career status according to our updated marketing plan. And everything related to it will be announced by me during our future meetings. So those of you who are interested in going professional in the area of investment crowdfunding, get ready for it. And I would like also to address myself to those colleagues and partners of mine who wrote me numerous private messages in Telegram. Please copy those messages because there was some breakdown in my Telegram and I cannot find several of my contacts. And there are people who are waiting for my answer because they've been asking questions to me. So those of you who have my personal contacts and who wrote to me, please do it again. Just copy-paste your questions again. And I wanted to say, to mention also, that after the launch of the updated platform, we are going to have a series of large-scale international events where we're going to have an offline event in such regions as Kazakhstan, India, probably Latin America, and the African continent countries. So, for us to launch it all, to be able to launch it all, we'll have to take gradual steps. As they say, you eat an elephant by pieces. So first, it's a marketing plan, then the updated platform, then we will launch corporate training that will be free. I'm not a big supporter of the idea of making people pay for training if we want to have professionals in investment crowdfunding. So who you should be to charge money for that? I never understood how people were able to charge for that. So the experience that I have, that our partners have, the experience that Jamila Jukupovna has, who built a 100,000 people team, all that experience will be shared. How to work in this area, how to work with investors in the area of train transportation technology, how to work with people who would like to build their careers around it, how to work with people who might become big investors. Will have a separate section, corporate training, incorporating artificial intelligence. It's going to be very quick. Also, we'd like to simplify some of our processes that we had that were kind of labor extensive or time intensive. For example, the verification procedure, we will make it as simple as possible and as quick as possible. Using AI, we will speed up the information processing tests, learning and tests that you will take. But I will tell you all about it during our next future meetings. We have quite a lot of active, productive work ahead of us. And at the end of our meeting, another thing that I wanted to draw your attention to, I wanted to show you what kind of prospects your newcomers will have, people who are not yet familiar with this train transportation technology, what kind of investment solutions are offered for people to become co-owners of this train transportation technology, or for them to become investors. I will answer all the questions that you are asking in the chat. I can see them. We are kind of running out of time. We have like 10 minutes left. because we were planning to have a 90-minute meeting, well, minus 10 minutes while I was reconnecting to the meeting. But first, let me finish my part, and then I will try and answer all of your questions. I will start sharing my screen first. So can you see my screen? Okay, you're saying yes. So what I wanted to show you here, that right now we are in the section of our back office, and what can see what kind of investment opportunities are being offered. So right now we have the biggest discount ever, it's 40, and the lowest discount is 21. For those investors, for those people who invested several years ago, those discounts seem small. However, if we talk about, remember, today I already mentioned, people who will be joining or are joining the string transportation technology right now will have shorter and shorter waiting period until the project is capitalized. People who become co-owners right now will be able, theoretically, to first receive the capitalization of their investments sooner. The same stands for discount 25, 24. They're quite interesting discounts for one simple reason, dear friends, because we know that the nominal value, the potential nominal face value of one share in the company is $1. Potentially in the future. So translating it into the modern language, discount 21 is potentially 21x to that investment. Discount 40 is 40x, 40 times 40. It can be times 20, talking about discount 40, but it can be times 140 or 140x, because when the company goes public or when the company starts receiving profits or super profits, then the company will evaluate the market using completely different set of criteria, and the growth potential of our investments, I mean, the discounts can be multiplied by several times more, x's more. So what I want you to memorize is not my personal promises, or do not please take that, understand me that that's what's gonna happen. No, this is just the potential of the investment growth in that area. I'm sharing my own personal opinion about it, my personal prediction for the years to come. But I would like you to understand, friends, that this is substantiated by the technological potential itself. We're not even talking about billion-dollar market, it's $1 trillion market, whereas the crowdfunding volume is billions dollars of dollars, but the entire potential volume of the market that Anatoly Yunitsky's technology can cover numbers trillions of dollars. And the discounts that might not seem attractive to old-timers, still, I think it's a misconception. So let's make the best of what we have. Of course, periodically we will have different promotions when discounts can be higher and more interesting than they are right now. And we did have some such promotions over the last couple of months, and I think they were to your liking. And I explained to you why we run such promotions, because there are certain pools of shares that were not used because of the lack of financial funding of the technology. So the company has the opportunity to periodically offer discounts, such discounts, like, you know, like in any commercial business or goods and services, businesses offer discounts. happy hours, if you will. Let's say from day Z to day X to day Z, things that you could have bought for 10 units, now you can buy them for 5 units. So basically, we run such promotions too from time to time, but what we can offer to our new investors, clients right now is the numbers that you can see on your screen. So friends, do not underestimate the investment opportunities right now. Just be objective about it and try to objectively assess the development pace of the technology. Just draw your own objective conclusion and answer this question yourselves. How probable the capitalization of this technology is in the near future. So all the news that we've discussed right now shows us clearly that this probability is very, very high. So I'm urging you, dear friends, to make the right choice, right decision in the near future, whether you want to be an active or a passive participant of our platform. And the second thing is to get ready, if you already decided to become an active investor and participant of our platform, to get ready to the events and the novelties that will be implemented in the near future. Believe me, the new back office will pleasantly surprise you, and the new instruments that we will offer you will pleasantly surprise you, because you might have noticed that our platform is kind of outdated. Our original platform, RSW Systems, is kind of old-fashioned, and that's why we're working on giving you the best service, best instruments for your work, and to prepare for you the best quality foundation for you to go professional, to become the best qualified specialist salespeople in the area of investment crowdfunding. So follow the news, and the next time I will go on air will be next week, because by then I will have information about stage-by-stage transition to the new platform and how it's going to happen. So I think the next meeting will be held either in 1 week time exactly, or on Saturday. So follow the news, keep abreast of the news, and at that meeting I will give you all the updates I have. And let me briefly answer all of the questions that you asked in the chat. Someone says, are you going to sell Skyway shares again? Well, we're not selling shares as such. We, as a platform, allow you the opportunity to purchase them. So we are an online platform giving the opportunity for you to become a co-owner. Someone says, RSW back office will be closed. Everything will be moved from the old to the new one. Everything will be preserved as such. So all the discounts, everything will be moved to the new back office. As for the old website, probably next week or in 2 weeks' time, I will tell you what's going to happen to the old back office. The old back office will keep on running, at least for history purposes. But talking about answering your specific question, Alexander, whether we are going to shut down the back office of RSW, I don't think we will shut down. We will keep it for the historical purposes, just to know what was in the past. But all your purchases, all your packages will be moved from the old back office to the new back office, like the discount 600 that probably you had. Everything will be preserved. Someone is saying, will our shares be converted into crypto shares, or we're going to the stock market? I'm not sure what you mean, but the shares that we co-own, sooner or later, after the restructuring of the company when it's ready to go public, all of those shares will become actual tradable shares, stocks. We will not be just will not just be potential co-owners. We're going to be actual shareholders. I'm going to have a meeting with the team that works with the digitalization of this train transportation technology, and I think we'll be able to record an explanatory interview with the team, and we will answer all of the questions related to the digital area, crypto area that you're all asking about as VGT. So on Monday, I'm going to have a meeting, and they will give an interview, and after that, at that interview, I will ask all of the questions related to the buyback, exchange, commission, everything related to that. There will be a separate question asked by Oleg, his proposal. So everything will be in that interview. As for the projects in different cities and regions, that question should not be directed to me. The team of the commercial department of the engineering company is taking care of it. So everything related to the implementation of the stages of the processes related to the implementation of commercial projects, it's the domain of the engineering company. You should read the official information news either on UST website or Unitsky's website. Everything is there, but I won't be able to give you this information about the commercial projects. I know that they are ongoing, but at what stage they are at, this is beyond me. Someone says dissolution, dissolving of the shares. No, there will be no... There will be no like diminishing of the shares. And someone is asking about whether any people will disappear from the register of investors. No, if you invested your money in supporting the string transportation technology, you will be in the register of shareholders. So it's been exactly 90 minutes of active time, so I think I will be calling it a day. Let me see if I forgot anything what I wanted to tell you about. I think I've covered pretty everything. I didn't even use my notes. Olga is asking whether the dividends will be paid late or mid 2025. Well, friends, please watch the last 3 minutes of Unitsky's video for 2023, his New Year's congratulatory speech or the end of the year report and meeting that he had with Ms. Kosareva, CEO of String Technologies. And during that video, Dr. Unitsky said one very important thing, and I would like to focus on it, to dwell on it, because this is a point of utmost importance, because many of our partners do not always correctly interpret what they heard. So let me briefly analyze what was said during that interview, during that meeting. Just give me a second, please.
Сейчас, секунду. Я сделаю демонстрацию экрана.
I will start sharing my screen with that video for us to better understand what was said.
Так, демонстрация.
Start screen sharing.
так.
Just 1 second.
Так,
So,
друзья,
friends,
включаю ролик.
Play it back for you. So the Stream Technologies showed positive dynamics, positive results. The company is now self-sufficient.
У меня сейчас к вам
Now,
вопрос.
my question to
Вам
you,
звук виден
could you
или
hear
нет,
the
друзья?
volume?
Звук, точнее, не виден, слышен?
Could you hear the sound from the original video?
Вот я включал сейчас
I
видео. Вы
played
звук
back the
слышите?
video right now, and I'm not sure
Очень
you
плохо
heard
сейчас.
the audio correctly. Well, I tried to boost the volume,
Тут на максимуме.
but people are saying that they could barely hear it. So our plans for the next year is to start receiving first profits. So by 2025, the group of companies of Unitsky plans to complete creating the legal and financial systems for payouts, for dividends.
Друзья, на что
So
я
what I
здесь
wanted
хочу
to
обратить
draw your
внимание?
attention here
Вот
too.
многие
Many
из
of
вас
you heard
услышали
the
фразу к
phrase
2025
by
году
2025 and
выплата, вы услышали,
payouts
будет
or
выплата
paying of
дивидендов,
dividends,
да?
right?
А теперь
So,
давайте
and
дословно,
let's
как сказал Анатолий
follow word
Эдуардович
by word
Юницкий.
what Unitsky
Давайте
said.
еще раз, я
I
перемотаю.
will
Вот последний раз
back
хорошо
forward
было
for you.
слышно?
I will go back for you.
Друзья, напишите в
And
чат. Хорошо было слышно то, что говорил
did you
Анатолий
actually
Эдуардович?
hear what
Но давайте,
Anatoly
если даже
said?
было
But even
плохо
if you didn't
слышно,
hear
вы
it well,
посмотрите, я
I
скажу, с какой
will give
секунды
you the
даже
exact time
посмотреть,
code
скину этот ролик сейчас в чат, вы все
of the video in the
пересмотрите,
video
и
that you
главное,
can start watching
правильно
the
для
video
себя это
from,
понять,
and you
и
need to
правильно
hear it
интерпретировать как для
well
себя,
and
так и
interpret
для
it for
других людей.
yourself
Не
well.
выдавать
Do
желаемое
not
за
apply
действительное.
the wishful thinking
Александр, даже
here.
вопрос
It's
не
not about
вознаграждений
even
и
payment
дивидендов, а
of
само то,
remuneration
что
or
сказал
dividends
Анатолий
or what
Эдуардович. Вот
Anatoly
давайте
said word by word.
еще раз.
The company started showing positive results. The company has become self-sufficient. So next year we will start receiving profits. And as a result, by 2025, the group of companies of Unitsky plans to complete creating the legal and financial system infrastructure for paying out
И
remuneration.
теперь важное, друзья.
Or,
Запомните,
so
22-я
the minute
минута.
22nd, 22,
Вот
Vyacheslav
Вячеслав,
said that the company
Ольга
is
очень
planning,
правильно
or the group of
услышали. Они
companies
сказали, да,
plan.
или повторили слова. Сказано,
The keyword is
планируют.
planning.
Группа
The
компаний
group of
планирует. И
companies
запланирует
plans
что?
to
Завершение
what? Complete the
подготовки
preparation or creation of the
финансово-юридической,
financial,
назовем,
legal
схемы
system,
или процесса.
infrastructure,
Давайте
or
еще раз, вот
procedure.
как сказал
So what
Анатолий
was the
Эдуардович.
exact word? So as a result, by 2025, the group of companies of Unitsky plans to complete the creation of the legal and financial infrastructure to pay out remunerations to all investors. So
Планирует завершение
literally
создания
plans to complete the
финансово-правовой
creation of
структуры,
financial
да,
legal
или
infrastructure
схемы
or
или
system or
механизма
mechanism for paying
выплаты
out
дивидендов.
remuneration,
Что имеется в виду?
aka dividends. So
Что
what is meant
имеется в
here,
виду,
dear
друзья?
friends? It
Имеется в
means
виду, что
that
чтобы
for
мы
us
с вами имели
to be able
возможность в целом
to start
получать
receiving
дивидендную
dividends,
составляющую,
for
для
that
этого предстоит еще сделать
a lot of
колоссальную
work
работу по
still has to
созданию
be carried out in terms of
финансово-юридической
creating the
структуры и
financial
инфраструктуры,
legal
чтобы это
infrastructure or
происходило.
mechanism to do
Мы
it.
с вами
So
являемся
we are
инвесторами почти или более чем из 200
investors
стран
from
и
more than
территорий. Это
200
международный процесс.
countries and
Это первое.
territories. This is an
Второе.
international
Ключевое
procedure.
слово
This is A.
планирует
And B is
создание
the key
этого
word
процесса, друзья.
plans or is
Здесь Анатолий
planning to
Эдуардович не
finalize
сказал,
the
что в
process.
2025 году я вам выплачу
Dr.
дивиденды.
Unitsky didn't
Здесь он
say
не
that by
сказал, что в
2025
2025
we
году
will
мы
be
с
paying
вами
dividends. He didn't say that by
будем в этом
2025
плане
we'll
счастливы
be
и так
happy
далее.
and all. No,
Поэтому,
no.
друзья,
It is very important to understand here and hear what was actually said and not misinterpret or use the wishful thinking here and not to pass what you wanted to hear for actually what you heard or the other way around. Because not everyone correctly conveys this information to other people, saying that invest now and in 2025 you will receive your dividends. This is not what Dr. Yunitsky said. There was no such words actually pronounced. This is yet another proof. The repetition of the situation that happened in 2018 when people expected the IPO to be launched in 2018. It wasn't possible, physically possible, by default, because by then the technology was still at the development stage. Therefore, the gradual work is being carried out. Alexander put it correctly in the chat. That work is being done. We will both have dividends and paybacks or buybacks. We'll just have to wait. It won't happen fast, but I'm up for waiting. So someone said that they will launch the IPO in 2024. Who said it? Just show me one single video or statement by Dr. Yunitsky that the company is going to launch the IPO in 2024. No, it never happened. I personally have known Dr. Yunitsky since 2015-2016. The last 7-6 years, I've been in close contact and cooperation with him and keep having close contacts. And not even in our personal conversation, Dr. Yunitsky mentioned any specific dates or timelines. Dear friends, we need to understand the vector, the direction of the company, and what point we are at. And we need to have an objective awareness of the situation. And we need to know that what has been said has always been delivered, despite such things as the COVID-19 or geopolitical situation happening right now. And not just geopolitical, but the natural disasters happening across the world that literally blows our minds. But the company, despite all the external factors, is not only moving forward, it makes like 7-mile strides. Just take a look at the renowned Elon Musk, who mentioned that his Hyperloop will become the best transportation. Where is that company? They shut down, they left the market because the technology was not viable and it was not feasible by default from the get-go, because in 1970s, 1980s, Dr. Yunitsky theoretically already considered moving in the vacuum tube, and he came to the conclusion that there is no way people should be moved in vacuum, because it can be lethal if the air tightness is compromised. So Alexei shared a document where 2025 is mentioned. The document's title is the vector, direction of the development of the company. If we take a look at the Yunitsky's video that I showed you, the word plans is mentioned. Plans. And in view of what I already said, we're talking about the plans and directions of the company. And always some leeway should be given in view of possible external factors and circumstances. But of course, all of us would like to start receiving dividends while we are alive in this life, but I'm sure that that point will arrive, and that's what we're going for. But we should also understand that dividends, in principle, might not depend even on the company going IPO over that period or not. I mean, it's not the goal in itself for the company to go public, to launch their IPO. Dividends can be paid even without it. And believe me, Dr. Yunitsky is appreciative for
для себя
every
поверьте,
single
очень
investment
хорошо
and for the
понимает,
support of every single person.
насколько
And he fully
важно
realizes
оказать в
how
первую очередь
important it
внимание
is
тем людям,
to
которые уже
never leave
имеют
behind
достаточно
people
преклонный
who are
возраст, потому что
senior
кто-то в
citizens,
2014 году
because some people
инвестировал, ему
invested in
было
2014 and they
65-75
were
лет, сейчас
like
это уже
70,
люди
75 years
достаточно
old, and
преклонного
now they
возраста.
are 10 years
Поэтому
older.
уже был
And
период,
there was a
когда
period
компания
when the
делала
company
обратный выкуп
already
долей
made
у определенной категории инвесторов.
buybacks from a
Поэтому как
certain
будет в
category of investors. So what's
2025
going to
году?
happen
Какой
in
будет механизм?
2025? What kind of a
Будут ли
mechanism will be
поделены на
implemented?
категории
Whether
инвесторов
investors
и
will
так
be
далее?
split into different
Сейчас это вопрос
categories. It's still an
открытый. Но то, что компания
open-end question.
стремится
But the
создать этот
company
механизм и реализовать,
is
это факт.
striving
И вот
towards
то, что Анатолий
creating this
Эдуардович Юницкий
mechanism. It's a
нацелен
fact. And Dr. Unitsky
так
is
скажем, экспансию еще на
is planning to
рынок Соединенных
expand
Штатов,
into
на
the
территорию
territory
Северной
of the United
Америки,
States,
друзья,
North
он тоже,
America.
поверьте, это
I'm
делает
sure there is a
неспроста.
reason
Наверное,
why he's doing
наверняка
that.
в
I'm
Соединенных
sure
Штатах есть
in the United States
более
there
простые
are
механизмы
simpler
с точки
mechanisms
зрения
in terms of like
финансово-юридической
financial legal
модели по
model
как
of both
финансированию технологий,
funding the
так и в будущем
technology and
дивидендной
paying out
составляющей.
dividends in the
Поэтому,
future.
друзья,
So,
все,
dear
что
friends,
происходит, вы
everything that's
сами
happening,
видите,
as you can
ничего
see,
от себя ни я не
has been
придумываю, ни компания
has
ничего
been delivered to
не
you as such.
выдает
I
желаемое за
did not
действительное.
add anything of my
Поэтому,
own,
друзья,
no wishful
финишируем
thinking
нашу
used.
встречу.
So
Мы
by
сегодня много
calling it
обсудили.
today,
Следующую мы
we
проведем
already discussed
либо
quite a
в
lot of
следующий
points.
четверг,
So the
либо в
next meeting
субботу.
will be
Ждите
held either
анонса.
on
Я,
next
возможно, еще
Thursday
более
or Saturday.
развернуто
Probably
отвечу на
I will
вопросы,
give
которые вы
more
задавали. И напомню, те партнеры,
detailed
которые
answers
писали
to your
мне
questions,
сообщения,
and those partners
в личные
who
сообщения
messaged
писали
me in private
вопросы и
and asked their questions
задавали
directly,
вопросы и писали какую-то
or shared
информацию
some
либо
kind of
предложение,
information
продублируйте,
or
пожалуйста,
made
чтобы
proposals, please do it again
возобновить с
so
нами
that
контакт.
we could
Благодарю
resume our
и
conversation
хотел бы
again.
вас
Well, thank you
попросить
very
дать
much.
обратную
And
связь, как
guys, I
вам
would like
сегодняшний
you to give
эфир,
me some
был ли он
feedback,
для вас
whether
полезен,
today's meeting
и
was useful to you, was
дайте
valuable. So give me some
оценку
kind of
того,
a
как мы с вами
valuation of
поговорили.
the outcome of our meeting, of our
Верика, мой
conversation
контакт
today.
вы можете в службе
Verika, you could
поддержки
ask for
написать,
my
вам
email, my
его
contact details from the
предоставят.
support service, and they will share it with you.
Благодарю.
I see lots of people liked what they heard, 10 out of 10. Good, thank you very much. And I would like to thank every one of you for finding time, and all the partners who weren't able to attend this meeting. My regards to you as well. I'm sure you will be watching this meeting as a recording, so do not miss out on very important information. Follow the news about the next meeting, and then in future we will be gradually, smoothly transitioning to the new platform, where there will be quite a lot of pleasant surprises in store for you, quite a lot of pleasant updates and tools to facilitate your work. I would like to virtually shake all of your hands, and until we meet again, and all the best and luck in our very difficult yet very interesting times.